ladies and gentlemen. The labor shortage in America is still really bad and it's getting worse. So, this year is no different from the previous years. So, labor shortages plague high stakes industries. Labor shortages are plaguing sectors like law enforcement, healthcare, and aviation. Why it matters, understaffing in some industries can have a dire consequences on public health and safety. For example, a shortage of air traffic controllers has led to an increase in near miss airplane collisions. This is according to the New York Times. At the same time, a lack of available workers in AI and manufacturing threaten to slow down productivity and growth in areas where the US is otherwise poised for huge leaps forward. That's a problem, not just for companies in those sectors, but for the broader economy. Parents are feeling the labor squeeze from multiple fronts as they try to take care of their kids. Now, if you remember, right after the pandemic, they were so desperate for teachers. They were begging parents to come and sit in the classrooms or become teachers or fill out applications. They were sending applications home to the parents. That's how desperate they were. And if you remember, even some of the parents were driving school buses because they just couldn't find anybody. So it does not look like America has progressed from that time. So schools across the country are understaffed without enough teachers, bus drivers, or social workers. The childcare industry is also dealing with a shortage of available workers. Parents often either can't find care or can't afford it. Yeah, it is outrageous. It really is. It's like every industry, it's just loaded down in price gouging, okay, which can cause them to stay on the sidelines of the labor force, making the worker shortage much worse. So, our prisons, 21% of correctional officer positions are understaffed in federal prisons, according to a March report. A staffing shortage throughout the Bureau of Prisons is increasing incidents of violence and leading to more health issues for prisoners. Americans are getting older, and there are fewer younger people of working age. And to that, there's just not enough young people to really make a significant difference in the workforce. Remember, the baby boomers are the last largest generation in America. All of the other groups after that are much smaller. So, as these baby boomers retire, there's not enough young people to step into their place. Used to be like that, but it's not like that anymore. Unemployment in the US is very low, and there simply aren't enough workers in the US to meet the demands. Well, I thought that's why y'all were bringing in all these foreigners. You know, that's why I'm telling y'all, foreigners are not the answer for the US. Even during and after the pandemic, when they were begging for people to come and work in them restaurants, y'all saw the videos that I put out. They were begging people to come into schools. They were begging people to come in fast food restaurants. Some people were going for an interview and got hired on the spot. They were so desperate. So if you had enough foreigners in the country, why would a shortage be going on? And that right there should tell you foreigners that's not the answer. You still got this shortage has been going on for several. If you can remember, businesses closed because they just could not find the employees to even keep their businesses going. And a lot of restaurants closed because they didn't have the staff. So if immigrants are the answer, then why are we looking at all these shortages out here? Because that's not an answer. You know what it is? The immigrants can only step in to a few roles in America. If they don't have much of an education, look, some of these people come across the border with a second grade education, which right there, they're not going to be able to do any and every job in America. So, this is why you still don't see them in a lot of industries. You see them in certain parts of the sector, but you don't see them all over like that. Mm-mm. You know, maybe if they're like a second, third generation and they were educated here, you might see them, but the ones coming straight over the border, no, no. So, ladies and gentlemen, they are still desperate. So, for workers, this isn't a crisis. A tight labor market means higher pay, better benefits, right? UPS likely wouldn't have such a generous contract if it wasn't for the union, of course. I mean, that's how it is. So they're trying to figure out ways to make adjustments so that people will be more attracted to all of these open jobs that are out here. All right. Now, what industries are hit the worst? Industries like retail and restaurants are really, and they were hitting, those industries were really being hit the worst even during the pandemic, if you can remember. They were struggling bad. Even in trucking, you know, they were struggling with truckers. They were begging for truckers out here. So they've raised pay, and you know they've been doing that consistently at least for like the last 2 to 3 years to try to grab more people, and they even tried to make the hours more flexible for workers, figuring that would be attractive, you know, or they would work a certain amount of weeks or months and they would give them a bonus. You know, they were trying all kinds of things out here to get people in. And it's still really, it just was not working. Let's be real. Retail and restaurants, those are not industries that pay well. So I could see why they are struggling for the labor because the pay is just not good, especially if you got to take care of a family. It's just not going to be enough. All right. So, not every sector can take these steps. So, they said certain sectors can make adjustments to hours and make adjustments to pay to try to suit the needs of the workers, but every industry can't afford to do that. A lot of employers can raise wages and attract workers that are available, but the sectors facing the high stake shortages don't necessarily have that option. Absent a surge of immigration, a surprise flood line of women into the workforce. Yeah, in fact, more women left the workforce than entered the workforce. And there were a lot of women during the lockdown when they were home with their kids, they decided to stay home and not go back out there and work anymore. They lost a lot of women during that time period. In a recession that drives down demand for employees, demographic changes, meaning that labor shortages will likely stick around. Well, then I guess America got the same problems and more. And I know, even every day when you go out, you always see some police department trying to recruit people, and they're desperate and trying to get people, and they're short, and they're saying they're working the police officers that are currently employed, they're being stretched thin. Well, I guess America just got a lot of things to fix. And, you got to understand these people don't really fix things. That's why so many things out here are undone. They want to milk the daylights out of something, but they don't want to fix anything or try to maintain it. So that's why you see so many things out in American society that's lacking in many areas because it's not being maintained. So, y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.